But before we begin, now I know everyone and their grandmother says this at the beginning of their videos, but could you please subscribe? Pretty please. Look at this, we're so close to 1 million, everybody. We can make it if you all just subscribe. It's just a thing that I've noticed that for my FEBuilder video specifically, a lot of people are not subscribed, so if you could do that, that would totally make my day. You don't even have to subscribe and turn on notifications. You can just turn them off if you don't want to watch my cringy videos and only want my high quality content like this. So yeah, if you could please do that, that would be amazing. And if not, well, I hope you have a nice day anyway, and I hope you stub your toe. Hello everybody! It's been a while, but today it's finally time. We're getting back into Fire Emblem Builder stuff, and today with a topic that has been requested quite a lot. From what I remember, we got over 50 votes last time on what topic should be the next topic for the FEBuilder video, and it was almost unanimous. You guys all wanted to see something done with the world map, so that's what we're going to take a look at today. Sorry if these take so long to get out. It's just sometimes a lot of work, and sometimes it's just that I don't really feel like making these tutorials. That's not because of you guys or because of the tutorials themselves, but because I have so many hobbies that the unit roster of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn looks smaller in comparison to the amount of hobbies I have, so I have to spend my time wisely. But I thought, why not crank out one today, mainly because I really wanted to make another video again. But like, I can understand if half of you don't give a damn about that personal kind of stuff. Let's get into the stuff already. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of world map stuff, and we're going to cover a decent chunk of it. So, the Summons of the Demon King, it's pretty funny that it's here, because this is all just world map stuff, and the rest is not really that important, like the Demon King summons. Sure thing, mate. If you take a look at the, for an example, you can go to the world map image. If you open that, you simply just get the image of the world map. This is the image you need for the world map. Now, if you have a world map yourself, you can just insert a PNG, and then you can figure the rest out in FEBuilder. So you can basically make your own world map and figure out the details within FEBuilder. You don't have to worry about doing something weird. I'm not going to screw around with the world map image myself in this video. Maybe at the start I did something funny. I probably did. But just so you know, I'm not going to screw around with this for too much, because that's not the point of this particular video. Oh, there's also multiple versions of the world map, multiple images. You have this one. This is for the prologue introduction. Most people skip this anyway, so that's not really that important. Or sometimes in the world map events, it actually has something where you see this image. You have one for the mini-map, which is something I actually would change. You could change this to any PNG you want. You could even change it into the background color, making it transparent. That's also a thing you could do. You have a node icon, or that's what it's called, but these are basically the things that can appear on the map. So if you want to, say, recolor the castle because a green roof on the castle looks a little more pretty, then you can do that. Does this particular... Well, you need to realize that all of these images you see, like all of these castles in this image up here, can you guys even see my cursor? That's kind of wacky. Can you guys even see the hold up? That's wacky. There you go. If you if you look at the image here, you can see that all of these like icons or like map things, they share the same image. So that means that if you want to add something to this, or if you want to change the palette of something, you will have to make sure that that it complies with the rest of the palettes you see here too. I do not know if that's the case for this bottom image here. I like to think it is, but I think this one has its own palette, just so you know. These are specifically Fire Emblem 8 newer tile sets. These are still in Fire Emblem 7, although it's wacky. I don't really know why they split this up. Do not touch this because it will screw up the roads. We have the borders, and the borders is just the thing from the intro cutscene, and you can call upon it in game itself. I actually, in my own ROM hack, Fire Emblem the Prophecy of Flames, took the effort to create new text for these particular icons, which was a big pain in the butt because you have to redo these letters here. You have to redo them all. This one is kind of funny. This one is still left for the debug of Fire Emblem 8. This one is left from when Fire Emblem 8 was originally planned to have a little extra consonant thingy, I think. Or at least that's what I think. I think this is still left in there from the beta or earlier development stages. And there's data for the icon. I have no clue what this does, but what I think it kind of does is it regulates the images you add here. That's what I think, at least. If you just want to do some world map stuff and just think the vanilla assets are enough, just do not touch this. Curious that you can expand this. So that is basically everything that goes for the world map image. So every single image on the map can be changed here. So if you want to say like add part of the Google Maps of Egypt, then you can do that here. This one has its own palettes as well with their own addresses. If correct, FEBuilder should just normally change all of that for you. So no need to fret or worry about that. Alright, so next up is something more important to the visual part of the map itself. Let's say you have found some cool nodes and you found a new world map image. Then if you go over here to world map nodes, this is the place where a lot of information immediately appears on the screen. But you don't really need to worry about all of this. Don't worry, the thing is kind of simple. As you can see, there's a bunch of roads on the screen, those little lines that connect the points here. Basically, what these particular, what this whole table is, all this index stuff, is the locations on the world map. You have to add them manually, and you can place them with coordinates on particular locations. Now, so for an example, if I think like, oh, I want to place Border Mulan all the way over in the sea. No, screw. We're actually going to send it all the way down to the bottom. We're going to send it towards Australia or something. I don't know. If I'm like, yeah, I want Border Mulan to be here, then go ahead. You can do that. You can just put it there, which is what I did for one of the extra chapters I made. I added an extra node, and I changed it so that it is on this little island here. You can also do that. It's pretty fun to just screw around with that. If you have your own world map, you will have to change all of these. There's a bunch of them too. Though every single one of these icons or like these map locations has their own unique their own unique set of details. So every single one comes with a progression event or like a placement flag. Basically, what you can do here is just set a bunch of stuff. I do not really know what this one does. Freelia Castle makes me believe that it is some kind of route split involved thing, because Castle Freelia has it itself. It has conditional flags. You can set flags for different behavior, I think, for different types of areas, I guess. Interesting. What actually happens when... Oh, then it just opens the flag list. Okay, I haven't done my research into those flags and stuff. But the most important thing you want to know is that all of these settings can be edited, and you can do some very interesting stuff with this. You can set the map skirmish type, for an example. You can set that monsters appear, because the game will then pull all of the spots where monsters can spawn from a random list, and then you can make monsters spawn there. Normally, in a bunch of the places in Fire Emblem, monsters cannot appear in particular parts of the map, which is weird because I vividly remember that monsters cannot spawn in Chapter 5, Chapter 3, and Chapter 2, which is kind of weird. But why does it say monsters can appear there? That's kind of wacky. I don't really know. The Atlas Plains does though, and so does the Zaha Woods, where monsters can actually definitely appear. There's dogs barking outside. The thing is with these map placements though, is that all of them have these little different settings, so you can set monsters to appear. Now, there's also the setting down here. You can set a pre-clear icon and a post-clear icon for most, if not all of them. Is this actually the same for all of the spots? Yeah, for all of them. You can, if you have added an icon where a fortress or a castle is in shambles or in ruins, you can actually add that to the icons here. You can switch them, because you can switch up the icons for post and pre-clear, which is interesting. I don't know where vanilla Fire Emblem uses this, but it's kind of interesting. Chapter ID, that speaks for itself. It is influenced by world map events. Make sure to set the correct chapter ID here, and make sure to set the correct the correct chapter ID and mix it up with the right events, because if you do that, you will basically have access to the right event. So Border Mulan has 0, because then you go to the Fall of Renee. Castle Frelia has Castle Frelia. It speaks for itself. Chapter 2 is Chapter 2. It's all very logical, all of these. Now what's interesting is that some of them may or may not actually have one. Like, there's some extra chapters that do have a location on the map. Is there one for landing at... No, actually, no. There is no, not a 12x or 11x or whatever. There is no one or no event there. But just make sure to set that correctly, and you'll be fine. Going back to Border Mulan, you also have the next world map nodes. If you go with the without the route split, you'll probably be stuck in Erica's party. So it's most important you set that one. And there's also 2 different versions. So the route split itself has 2 different, or like Fire Emblem 8 has 2 different versions of Erica and Ephraim's parties. One is the Erica party for the prologue for chapters 1 to 7. The Ephraim 1 is for chapter 5X. Erica 2 is for the route split, Erica's route, and the Ephraim 2 is for Ephraim's route after the route split. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. Then there's actually armory and vendor codes here. If you click it on, say, Castle Frelia, you will see that there is no armories or shop data in those locations, simply because it just doesn't exist. But if we go to, say, Eid, which is the first place where you can actually buy weapons in standard FE8, you can actually see that if you click on it, it will load the armories. So if you want to disable armories after you have played through the game, or after you've cleared a chapter, you can actually do that by not setting an armory here, or setting a reference. Now, what's interesting is that you also have that for the secret shop. You can set a secret shop here. But there is no secret shop in some places, that's true. But what I find interesting is, even though we go to Queen of the White Dunes, or which one is it? Does it actually have a secret shop that you cannot access from the map? Like, okay, so now I'm questioning if I remember this correctly, but I recall a time where you could not go to Johanna Hall to enter this secret shop on the map. But that might actually be just me misremembering. In any case, you can set this to a different value, or to 0 if you want, and that way you cannot access the map, as well as if you want Chapter 3, the Borgo Ride, to be the place where you can access an armory, because there is one in the city, then you can set that in this particular setting and in these tables. We've already talked about the coordinates. The name is just literally the name that shows up on the world map when you navigate towards something. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. And the last one is pretty funny. The last setting, this is travel by ship. So travel by ship is just basically, does the player character, Erica or Ephraim, or whoever is the character that's on the map, change into a boat if they go over water? Now say we go to Melican Coast, that one has travel by ship turned on because you actually go from this location over here, this little connection, over to this point here. It has the travel by boat. So if you go over water, you can set travel by boat. Do note that mixing up roads and boats doesn't work. So it's either a boat or you go by foot. Or I do not know if there's actually... Well, I don't think so. It's because it's a setting here and not in the roads. So it's either walking or going by boat. Which, if you live in the desert, is an easy choice to make, but say you're navigating between multiple islands to get to your next mission destination on the world map, then that's gonna be an issue. Alright, so that's all there is to the world map nodes. As you can see, by the way, those little dots are for places that don't have, like, a city icon, or like Renval have, like, a little castle. Why is there 2 Renvals? Oh, there's 2 Renvals because one of the Renvals is for Chapter 5X and the other is for It's a Trap, or no? Curious. I'm not going to dive too deep into that. That's something that you guys can find out yourself. Right, so next up is something pretty simple. It's roads. Basically, here you can see all of the nodes on the map. FEBuilder will automatically load these for you, and you can select a node where you can start from, you can select a node where you go to, and you can edit a road. So, as you can see, there's only one road going from Border Mulan to Castle Frelia. But say we have an interesting spot such as Johanna Hall, for an example, which is interconnected with a lot of other spots on the map. You click on Johanna Hall and you see one road. That is because you have to do all of these roads separately. Yes, you have to set a road, and after that you can... after you set a road, do you double click? What is it again? You can pointer. You just click on the pointer. That was what it was. You click on the pointer and boom, then this window opens up, and it's very small, but in the top left you have various amounts of roads you can select in order to make a road from from point A to B. The rightmost column is an eraser, by the way. Thanks for telling us that, FEBuilder. That's so nice of you. Select a road, so if you want to, the little dot lines, by the way, you see here, these, you can actually, those dot lines are for the boats. Usually FE8 uses those for boats, and the actual roads, as seen here, is what FE8 uses for just traveling overland. See, that's the little road we've created. It's a bit screwed up, but you get the point. You can make your own roads here. It's very simple, not that intensive. Pretty simple stuff. I don't know what this does. Oh god, this is interesting. It's the movement path pointer. Elapsed time. I have no clue what exactly this is. Looks interesting though. I've never used this myself, so I made stuff work without all of that. What happens? I don't know. If something is wrong, you could always take a look here. Yes, close anyway. Get out of here. So that's the roads. Before we go over to one of the more interesting one of the harder parts of the, well, let's just actually go over there immediately because I just feel like it. If you go to the World Map Events option, you will see this screen, and you will get 2 different tables. And you will get 3 different things here. So, what you can see here is that this is a very interesting spot on... it's very interesting to see that the opening event, so the prologue, where you see all of the nations of... I wanted to say Mervania, but it's Magville. Where you see all of the opening, where you see the opening cutscene where you see everything of Magville. That's stored in here. If you open this, you can see that there's all kinds of information here about Well, just the whole opening cutscene. We can see that Ephraim is here, and soldiers and enemies starts going on the map, and then they move, and then you can resume the dialogue. They stop the dialogue a lot. They stop and move the dialogue a lot. The reason why that happens and how it happens in text, because the text is actually here. The way it happens is that they make use of the load overworld phases command, which allows you to temporarily stop an event, then execute or like stop a conversation or dialogue window, then execute events like changing music, changing background, making a weird visual effect appear on screen, swapping out portraits mid-conversation, although that's something you can simply do with the conversation editor itself, but you can do all kinds of event stuff when you just use load overworld faces. And after you do that and interrupt the text, you can use the resume dialogue conversation option to continue the text. If you're struggling with any kind of world map events, because these are the events that play after you click on a node and you see like, oh, the blue text box in the bottom appears, and it's like, Erica has liberated freaking Grado Castle, and now they're going to take back their homeland, and drinking beer and stuff. You can just easily set that in those world map events. If you ever have trouble, make sure to look at vanilla. Just take a look at something like this, and you can see, oh, this is how you display a portrait. This is how you make a unit move, for an example. You can stall. This is how you highlight part of the continent, even though no one is probably going to use this. There's a lot of ways in which you can just use commands on the world map. In fact, there's actually a whole section, if you go to the event editor, there's actually a whole section of just world map stuff. There's just so many world map things. Display map icons, draw routes, scroll from current location, make a lord unit to a warp node, make a unit appear on the world map, make a world map move, highlight a part of the continent, world map. There's also a lot of commands. You need to figure out those on your own. I'm not going to explain all of them because that's gonna cost me 2,000 years, and I have lived for 1,000, and I can tell you that's a very long time. So going back, that's where you can find the opening event and the ending events for Erica and for Ephraim, because after the game ends, the characters will go and they will like bring everyone home as if it were like a little party, a birthday party for kids. You remember the time when you went swimming, when the parents of the kid, you got like an invitation. They were like, yeah, grab your swim shorts and we will bring you home. That's basically what happens here. They bring everyone home. They visit every single place. That's what happens. And there's two different ones, one for Erica and one for Ephraim, because Ephraim is of course more familiar with different parts of the map. So that is that. You can find those events here. What's that's a fly. I got distracted. So that's where you can find those events. Now for the actual post-world map nodes, and why does it say post-world map? So there's two different types of post-world of things here: post-world map node and post-world map. This is what happens if. Hold up. I need to select one that actually has something like this. This is what happens after you save the game and return to the world map. When that happens, you'll see stuff get loaded in, right? You will see the Tower of Valny appear with that like it will like load in very, very schmexy. That's what happens in this event. You can set the roads, and you can set the next destination, like let the next destination appear and write the chapter ID. That's how you set up the stuff to properly load in, and for characters such, or like for Erica or Ephraim to be at the position you want them to be. So in this particular case, Erica is on chapter 3 Borgo Ride, and they're going to move to the Zaha Woods. So the game spawns Erica at the location of Borgo Ride at that node, and then it spawns you in or spawns in the road towards the Zaha Woods. It's very important to get that down. It's a little routine that you will eventually get used to, but it's something to note that if you want to set the next destination and want everything to look smooth, that's how you do this. Take a look at vanilla. It's a general advice I give to many people, as well as just make sure to check if there's a patch available for a problem you're having, which is amazing advice in general, because there's always a patch for something, or like 99% of the time there's a patch for something. But make sure to like look at vanilla, because this is looks very scary, but it's just stopping the player from skipping stuff or allowing people from skipping stuff. It's very simple stuff. Just look at vanilla and how they do it and how they load and stuff. It's pretty easy. And then you have the post-world map. This is what you will see once you click on the next destination where the little flag is, remember? Because on the world map, there's always a flag at a certain location. That's the location you have to go to next. The events that trigger on the world map after you click on that, that's these events. So for the Ancient Horrors, you go like, prepare the text. With her bracelet recovered, Erika sets out with renewed determination. You get a whole example story of Erika setting out for adventure, and you will get like, this is basically the narrator just chiming in and telling you, yo, this is what's going to happen in the next chapter, or what, like Fire Emblem likes to give you a short recap of what happened when you start a new chapter, and it gives like a little interlude to what's going to happen next. That's how you edit this, at least to text. And then you can also see that this particular chapter chose to show some revenants on the map, and they have a different location which are set here. You can set the color as well. That's just something that you can set. There's a lot of world map commands, but if you click on your next destination, you will see these events play out. And as you can see, there's a lot of events here. There's a 3A, which is, I don't know how much that is in total, because it's hexadecimal, and I'm really bad at counting hexadecimal numbers and converting them into the normal decimal numbers we all know and love, but it's a lot. But you can change those here, so if you want to do that, then go ahead. By all means, do your thing. And these are just regular event editor things. Even though it looks different, it's just event editor things. Look, if I just double click, I can even load, or I can even just change the music if I want. Because it's just regular event editor stuff, which is interesting, because I've never really seen people... let's just do it like this. I've never really seen people play around with some wacky events like custom battles on the world map. I want to see if it works and if it is possible. Let me know if you tried, because that would seem pretty sick. But just get creative and try to break the game with doing some wacky stuff in this editor. And just know that's just an event editor, so almost everything that's possible in the normal event editor is possible here. Now, since I would otherwise not know where to cover this, I could cover this in a whole different video, perhaps an FEBuilder Goldmine video, but I wanted to talk about the monsters on the world map. Because every single Fire Emblem 8 ROM has code included for generating monster skirmishes. Now you can just change these and turn them off entirely. There's a patch for that, I believe, and if not, you can even just go to the monster spawn rates and just turn all of these to 0 manually, which is kind of funny. But overall, if you are interested in having skirmishes on your map, you can simply go to monster spawn rates, and as you can see, there's a bunch of files here, and all of these show, they show the probability that a particular enemy will spawn at a certain location on the map. Now, what's interesting is that there's an Elder Bale Cyclops. I don't know where the Necro Dragon spawns. but that's kind of interesting. There's just a lot of different ones. I'd like to think that these two are perhaps just part of the Care Pellin, the map you unlock after beating the post game. But I honestly think that these particular these tables, they include percentages and probabilities of monsters spawning at certain locations, and you can set those in a different editor and link them to a class. But as you can see, I do not know which is which, but I think which is the I don't know which one is the one of Zaha Woods. I think that's this one with the Bale, Mouth Duke, and the Tarvos, or might also just be Chapter 6. You can set the different probability of monsters spawning at specific locations. What's interesting is if you take a look at this one, the chance of a bow bone walker or a entombed spawning at I think this might just be Chapter 4. The chance of these guys spawning there is so low that it's kind of funny even. If you actually manage to pull it off. I don't know if there's even rarer odds. Well, there's one with 5%. It's just interesting to see. It's just as rare, actually. Hold up, I'm gonna go sidetracked real quick because this is pretty interesting. It's just as rare as monster item rates, which is, funnily enough, also in this table. There is a chance, actually, that... Well, this is this is the chance of... monsters wielding certain items, but there is a chance, which actually happened to me in vanilla FE8, there is a chance that a monster has the opportunity to drop boots, which I found so interesting. The fact that a monster has the opportunity to drop boots. Normally you only get one of those in the entire game, but in this particular case, there are actually monsters that can drop boots or the wing sword. It's pretty funny. There's also these. This is the these are linked, or they might be linked. I don't know. This is probability of items dropping, and you can see, oh, a revenant has they have equipped table 15, which is this one. There's a 100 chance they have that. And then they have a drop table item chance, which is 1F, for an example. Where's 1F? This is 1F. Or do they have 1F here? Oh, this is the one we need to look for. There's a 10% chance that they drop an item from this pool, and from this pool you have a 40% chance that they drop 50 gold, a 10% chance they drop 1 gold. But there's also enemies that can drop this is wacky. They have there's pretty rare ones too. So table 22, there's a 5% chance that a entombed will pull from this pool of items, and then there's an 88% chance that they pull from... Why is there... Oh, that they pull nothing, that you get nothing from them. There's an 88% chance. The same thing with these bone walkers too. They have a 1% chance to go to drop table 21, which is the one we're in at the moment, which I find it kind of funny. But which are the really interesting ones? 2F. Those are pretty rare. You see, there's a 3% or there's a 1% chance that a white spawns, and this can be any white that is randomly generated in a skirmish. There's a 1% chance that they access this loot pool, and then there's a 1% chance, a double 1% chance. So that makes 1 out of... What's that? 1 out of very big chance that you, or a very, very low chance that you get a Swift Soul. That's like shiny odds right there. That's the chance you get one. It's pretty interesting. I wouldn't otherwise know where to show it off. So hence why I'm doing it here. You will never get any drops from a Bale, apparently. Screw you, Bale. No one likes you. But that's basically everything that there is to... Oh, there's actually drop chances of Draco zombies. which actually makes me curious. Oh, they drop a lot of stat boosters. They drop axes? Wait, that cannot be correct. Well, it's just the thing. Either way, that's where you can set the random drops of particular enemies, and you can even add more if you want to. If you have more monsters, then go ahead. But that's not specifically what we're talking about. That's just if you want to do monster skirmishes on your maps, you can find that item rigged thing here if you're really into giving your players some extra randomized loot. Then we have world map skirmishes themselves. This looks like a lot of information because it kind of is. As you can see, every single location in the game that has the ability to spawn, or that has the ability to have random battles, or have monster encounters, they're listed here. What's interesting is that, why does this all have... Those chapters do not have access to monsters. Oh, I know what this is. This is probably the randomized loot pool. Because... Is this randomized? I don't know. These chapters all have monsters in them. Or do they? I don't know. That aside, these are all the maps with monsters on them. And you can set exactly the percentage chance... No. Okay. So, I understand now. This is pretty... Okay, this is getting a bit complicated. These are the chapters that if you go to them and you beat these chapters, then it goes over to... Let's say you have Chapter 9, The Distant Blade. If you beat Chapter 9, there's a 40% chance that a monster will spawn at the Zaha Woods location. And there's a 60% chance that a monster will spawn at the Atlas Plains. If you complete Chapter 19, there's a 5% chance a monster spawns at the Zaha Woods, a 5% chance they spawn at the Atlas Plains, 15% at Terrace Plateau, 20% chance at Hemmill Canyon, and if there's monsters on them, there will not be new ones spawning. But these are the chapters after which you complete them, which monsters spawn. As well as just the Tower of Volney and stuff. But these are the chapters that have a, like, that have the opportunity to trigger monster appearances on the map. And they're different for Ephraim's route, of course, because it would be weird if you play Erica's route and a monster spawns in a place you cannot reach them. That's kind of funny. And then there's a link to the World Map Skirmish start events, which is, holy fuck. That's a lot of info. I don't actually know what all of this is about. Vanilla should work just fine. If you ever wanted to make monsters appear on the map, now's your chance. That's how you do it. And with that, I actually think we have covered most, if not all, that there really is to the world map. Oh, there's Road Movement Editor. What's the difference between this? Oh, it's just... Is there a difference? Why is there only two? Oh, wait. Hold up. This is another one that's really interesting for when you go editing the roads. Because this one actually has... If Erica or Ephraim has to go around a corner and they cannot go into a straight line, you can insert points at which they stop walking and then turn another direction. That's how you set those little things. Got it. So that's that. What is... Is there anything else that I may have missed? Map loading process. I don't really know what this is. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think. Map loads from anywhere. Map loads node on world map. Oh, this is for extra chapters. Say your chapter does not include a world map event and does not include you going back to the world map, or say it's a guidance chapter where you save and then you immediately dive into the next chapter, skipping the world map. That is what you use this for. Is there anything else? I think we have mostly just covered all of it. So yeah, minimap terrain is something different. either way, that is most of the stuff when it comes to world maps. I think that's actually everything you really need to know about this particular topic. So in that regard, thank you all so much for watching. I hope everything was clear. If it was not, leave it in the comments down below, because I really love answering questions that all of you guys have, because I want to give you guys the best experience when ROM hacking. If you did manage to follow everything, or just part of it, or just appreciate the effort I put into this video and me being there for you guys, if you found this video helpful in any way or just feel like it, please give a thumbs up, which helps for the algorithm. Please leave a comment to boost the algorithm if you have the energy to do that. And if you want to, and it would really help out the channel, it would be something to pay me back for this hard work I'm putting in for all of you, because I freaking adore what you guys have allowed me to do over the years, because, well, I couldn't do this without you guys. If you want to pay me back somehow, the least you could do is hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell if you want to see more and be kept up to date about everything, or just not ring the bell at all. Just turn it off, don't get any notifications, because if you do that, you will be able to subscribe without watching my other content, but you will see the new tutorials pop up in your feed, which would just help me with getting like an extra little sub, you know, and you would get a notification for when the new tutorials come out. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Go outside, because it's going to turn winter soon, and make sure to drink water, stay hydrated. And with all that being said, don't get lost in your own world map, have fun hacking, and the best way to learn is to simply just do stuff. I've been XPGamesNL, see you all in the next FEBuilder tutorial, which might just be in 2020, which is just right around the corner, guys, believe me. Thank you so much for watching. See you all later. Bye.